And here we are.
And here we are. And so it was. Oh, yeah. Folks, welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. I am Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. With me is Glenn Hallstrom, Old Man Grognard, and Monsieur Mark Hunt, Mr.
Hello, hello.
Gangbusters himself, is below. And by the way, there should have been an earlier announcement of this, at least by a couple of hours. But and I will throw myself on the mercy of the court and under the bus. I totally slipped my mind that we had rescheduled this. And as an aside, Glenn, the reschedule worked out fine.
Did it?
Friday was Rachel's birthday, so we got to take I got to take Rachel out to Hibachi with our niece to celebrate her graduation from junior high. So it all worked out okay. And then my mind blanked that we were going to reschedule this. So
Hello, Chad.
here we are.
Well, just Friday I got to see my stepson, his wife, and one of our granddaughters. So, well, that worked out. We had to go to Guthrie.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Which is like I think it's an hour from here.
Okay.
Yeah. My stepson just bought a plot of land up there. He put an RV for them to stay in while he builds the house.
Nice.
Very nice.
He's got electricity there. He got the septic in, and now he's even got a pen full of goats.
At least the grass will get cut.
Yeah, pretty much.
No rest for the wicked.
Tell me about it. And he's a plumber.
Oh, okay.
So
I can't see where he finds the energy, really.
Well,
you know what I mean?
They say you
so
can waste when you're young.
That's true. So how are all you folks doing, you role-playing fools out there?
Yeah, I'm a fool. No, I'm doing good, man. Just like I said, totally forgot that we had planned this, and that's it, folks. We had planned this, and then I literally shat the bed and totally forgot. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I remembered.
Well,
actually, I remember because tonight, Monday, is my online game night, and I had to tell him I couldn't do it. So that's how I remembered.
Well, that's really smart.
Yeah, it's every other week, so it's going to be another 2 weeks before I play. But yeah, folks, I don't have a game right now. I don't really feel like a gamer, so I don't know if I can give you any good advice on anything. So
well, we have Mark here for the good advice.
Yeah, I'll do the best I can.
Yeah,
I can give the bad advice, but
anybody can give bad advice.
No. It takes a special
to roll dice. To roll dice for each encounter, you got to stand on your head. Yeah.
You crazy.
There's so many good things out there right now. Wow, it's amazing.
Yes, Fugly, we are on a Monday. So that's nice. How did you do that?
I was like, I can change the font. Pacifico, I like that. That kind of makes us look like we're special
or professional. I guess.
Oh, good advice is a premium. Bad advice is what you. If you just pay the base cost, you get the bad advice. If you pay premium, you can get good advice.
Yeah, we'll have a booth set up at the next convention. Free advice. We're not sending anything to
do it like the cable companies. You get a chance at good advice on the higher level. You got to go to the highest level to get the good advice.
Right. Who's the old guy here? You got to talk to them.
I've been listening to the streaming services too much. Anyway, how are we all doing?
Good.
Oh, well.
Hi.
I just finished up the 5th Precinct book. So that's all about the police department that you guys are going to be in Rock Junction. The 5th Precinct is for the players. It's like, Fort Apache. Guess where you guys going as your new guys?
I was thinking more like Barney Miller.
Yeah, they got that part. That's part in there too. You can do that. But you got to, you'll be like the guy who ain't had the death yet. So you keep coming in up the street.
That sounds about right. We should. Did you do it? Did you ever write anything about the Blue Book Detective Agency?
No, I'm going to do that yet. I just keep mentioning them all the time, but I never rolled them up yet.
Yeah.
Well, not
Well,
officially. I've got notes for them, but not in a book yet.
Okay. I always, every once in a while, I pull out the NPC of the director, Mr. Hunt.
Yeah.
I figure, what the hell? Might as well give you a tribute on it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Oh hell, Eric's in my games.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Eric's got a roadhouse.
I was going to get my roadhouse down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Roadhouse, and Raisha's got a beer garden right next door.
Yeah. It's a roadhouse right off the Krebs Highway.
Yeah. A root beer garden.
Root beer garden. Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
See, the sheriff thinks it's kind of out of my jurisdiction, so I'm just going to sort of turn a blind eye to some of this.
Here, I'll let you guys know on a little secret. Having alcohol and drinking it was not illegal. It was illegal to sell it and transport it. Did you know there's a bar in New York City. It's a private club. They bought 5 years worth of liquor and had it stored on premises for their club members.
Wow.
Nice.
5 years worth of liquor stored up.
Nice.
So
nothing's preventing you from distilling your own.
You could. Well, they used to sell a block of fermented grapes, dehydrated, with the instructions: do not leave in a dark place sealed, because it can cause alcohol to form. You don't want to do that.
Remember, you really shouldn't do this.
Right.
If you do, make sure you sterilize.
Right. And that's how it was. That was right there. You sold you a kit on how not to do this.
Hi, Elk.
Always have the instructions on what not to do.
Absolutely. I believe my grandfather on my mom's side, she was Italian, and they were an Italian couple, came over from Genoa. I believe he was doing bathtub gin for the local mob at one time. So
another thing, when what's his name, Churchill, when he came to visit, we were still during Prohibition. He had a medical excuse where he was allowed to have 2 drinks with each meal.
Okay. Didn't say how big.
Nope.
Well, you got to prescribe them, right? It's
with the medical marijuana stuff, it's like it's starting all over again. You have to have a card to get this.
Yeah.
You have to have a medical excuse, and boy, can they make up medical excuses.
And that's what they were doing back then too.
Oh man.
Oh man. Another one, for religious exemptions, you could have so much.
It helps my rheumatism.
And then in one town, they said, well, all of a sudden we have 148 new priests the next Wednesday or next week. It was crazy.
Did you ever watch that documentary, the Kenneth Brownlow's Prohibition?
Probably.
It's a very good documentary. Told me more about
so much is ridiculous.
It told me more about Prohibition than I ever knew. The legislature was supposed to start easing up on the restrictions after a few years.
Yeah.
But the religious people wouldn't let them, because they said, we're going to clamp down, but we've got to ease it up a little for certain things. And they're going, no, you don't.
Nope.
No, it's going to stay illegal.
Yeah.
And whatever exemptions, that's it.
Well, if you remember, the Molly Hatchet started way back in 1890, the Western states. That's what they're an offshoot of them.
Really? Carrie
All
Nation and all them? Carrie Nation and all them?
Yep.
Oh, man.
They all derived from that.
And the women's suffrage was around this time, too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. There's that,
That's part of it, too.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Then you got the Dust Bowl.
Dust Bowl.
And you got the Depression. It's like the trifecta.
Yeah. Depression. Yeah, the depression was waiting around the corner there
Wait,
in the
yeah, it's
30s.
like, yeah, you didn't have food, you didn't have money, and you didn't have drink. Well, you generally need the drink to get through the depression that comes
Right.
with the actual depression.
And don't
Well,
and don't and don't forget they for like the first couple of years depression kind of overlapped.
yeah,
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 I figure a couple of depression in a couple of years and there's prohibition says we got to ease up on this.
yeah. Because it
Nobody can eat,
overlapped.
but nobody can drink either.
Yeah, the Dust Bowl, the Depression, and Prohibition overlapped for like 3 years,
Yeah,
three and a
that's
half, 4 years.
amazing.
So that was pretty bad, hard times.
That was.
Have you ever guys ever had Templeton Rye or heard of it?
What's that?
Templeton Rye.
I've heard of
Never
it.
heard of it. No.
It's made in the town Templeton, Iowa,
Uh-huh.
and it
Wow.
was a bootleg liquor.
Okay.
And they supplied Al Capone in Chicago. It was like an hour and 9 minutes away from Chicago.
Okay.
So they would ride back and forth. And the town, when they started getting raided,
Mhm.
various people in town would take turns being busted
Oh yeah.
with the steel. So when they come to town, we got to find somebody. They're going to keep looking till they find somebody. So Bob
I
down the street's going to take the hit this week. You
yeah.
know, when
I
they ever get
thought
locked up, they would pay them off. They would pay for the family.
okay. See, I thought that Capone and them up in Chicago got all their booze from Canada.
No, Templeton Rye was one of Capone's favorite drinks. He loved it, so it came
Okay.
up from there. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff from a lot of grown, and also some of the projects they
Yeah.
grew. They literally grew it right there in the apartments. They grew it right there in the bathtub gins and stuff like that in the apartments.
I've got one movie in my collection that I could probably get a lot of money for, but I refuse to part with it. You ever seen Thunder Road?
Oh yeah,
All about, you know, the stills and the revenuers and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a hell of a movie. They try to justify it, trying to stop them, justifying, well, people could get poisoned and all this other stuff. It's no, you're just not getting the revenue.
Well, actually, the U.S. government put poison in some of it and put it out to find people who were drinking it.
I
They
didn't.
literally blinded a lot of people.
Wow,
Yeah, in
Not
New York City, it
surprised.
happened in New York.
really?
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible.
And the number one prosecutor at this time was a woman. She prosecuted more prohibition era cases than anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the Elk makes a good point. Suffragists claimed women should be allowed to vote because they were morally superior to men because they would vote for prohibition.
yep.
Well, I
And
guess they could be.
that was part of the thing they voted for too.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Like I
Oh.
say, and playing the game, there's so many angles you can take.
Tell me about it. I mean, sometimes, and there's a certain percentage of things that happened back then that I would go, how am I going to make an adventure out of this? Because there's a couple of things you really can't do.
Well, sure,
Um,
there's some things you shouldn't do. Put it
Yeah,
that way.
that's true. That's true. That's true. What I like about these role playing games is you can bypass certain
Yeah.
things in history that happened, and you
Right.
can just plainly ignore them,
Yep.
like you know the race issue, or
Sure thing.
for years, Chaosium has been dodging that bullet with Call of Cthulhu.
Well, believe it or not, the during Prohibition times and
Uh-huh.
inside the speakeasy and things, it was
Mhm.
more integrated than society.
Really, I
Oh, I
thought
can
they
believe that.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
they
more
clamped down
integrated.
on that too.
No, because you know what? If you have the money, that is the great equalizer.
Yep.
Okay,
This is
you
true.
know, they're not going to turn away somebody who's willing and has the money to pay. So
Yeah.
during Prohibition, it was more of, do you have the money? Do you have the wealth or don't you? If you can afford it and you can have it, and if you don't, you're one of them. So
And you also got to remember that a lot of black musicians and women's lib was doing this stuff. They're integrated in these places where it was already illegal to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's already so we're gonna make more. How more illegal it's gonna be? They're gonna raid you. So you're serving alcohol. Then they're gonna raid you because you're mixing races. Then they're gonna raid you because they have so-called promiscuous women. You're already doing all these bad things. What's one more thing? Throw it together.
And you're right about if you have the money, because the mob ain't going to turn away money
no.
ever. They may have the high end places like the Cotton Club where it's segregated, but probably a lot of the smaller speakeasies, they don't see color. They see green. The color they see is green.
If you would like it, go away.
One moment. You got to look at who was playing in the Cotton Club. Who was like the musicians and the singers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cooks and the bouncers. It was all integrated.
Yeah.
Well,
why? Because had to have it.
I don't know about those kind of clubs, but yeah, most of the places.
New York it was.
Okay, I'll believe it. No, like I said, the only color they saw is green.
Yeah, because they'd all go out up to Harlem to hang out. Want to go to the best shows.
That's the kind of thing you do on the weekends. If you got a lot of money.
Harlem is where jazz was pushing the edge.
That's right.
That's where, if you were going to go to a real cutting edge music show, Harlem was the place to be if you were in New York. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely.
Billie Holiday.
Yeah, you got all those jazz clubs up there and Charleston and all that kind of stuff.
Down south, you go into the you call what they call the Chitlin circuit and listen to the good, rhythm and blues.
Yes, the Chitlin circuit. That's absolutely. So I guess we're more integrated. I don't know, but it's not something you really want to. I don't really want to delve on.
Yeah, I don't even think about
elaborate on in a game.
Nah,
because it's not really
background running.
It's not really important, really.
No.
Now if you're playing Chinese, that's something.
Well, it all depends on where you're at too. In San Francisco, it was all set up.
I've got an adventure I'm trying to write that happens in like Rock Junction's Chinatown, wherever that is.
Oh, did I give you? I gotta send you that. I got the files for that too. So you can, it's there. I got it all detailed out.
Yeah, I think I outlined a Chinatown section on the map, but I never really did anything with it. Right. Years ago, the one-page dungeons.
Yeah.
Somebody actually did a raid instead of a dungeon. It was a block of Chinatown. It was a raid on Chinatown.
Yeah.
It's like basically just find an excuse to run this, and here's the block, and here's the NPCs, and go for it. And it's like, well, give me a blank check, thanks.
Well, I've got the rules for raids. I'm gonna run it almost like funnels, except for it's gonna be raids. You start off in a raid. It could be a raid, a police raid. It could be a raid, wherever it's at, and you run it, and whoever comes out the other end is your characters.
Yeah, and you don't have to put it in a speakeasy either.
No, it could be.
I mean, you could like the Green Warehouse. You could have a raid right there because they're storing stuff for the purple gang and the Black Hand in the back, so they could raid them and.
The Green Warehouse is perfect there. It could be down in the the tunnels underneath the hobo town.
Yep, the hobo jungle.
Yep.
Oh, I should tell you how the games went at North Texas.
All right, come on. I hear this.
Yeah, let's.
I ran it twice.
Oh, jeez.
The first, the year before I ran it 3 times, but it was kind of like the end was the same, but getting there was a whole lot different. The first one, I had my grandson Gage in it and Jason, and I swear to God, I am going to ban. Well, I can't say that with Eric here. I was going to ban hand grenades and dynamite because that's all that Jason wants to carry.
Why would
Don't
I
you have
be?
a gun?
Why
No,
would
I got
be
about 3
offended by
grenades.
that? I don't disagree.
Sure, you can. But of course, by doing that, you know the feds are getting called.
Yeah.
And the
So what
feds
He
are
happened
going
was,
to
played
pick
the
you
Fed
up.
last year and then did that. I was like, oops.
okay. So what happened was, there's one point where there was actually a Mexican standoff at the judge's mansion in the back, because we had two characters talking to the judge who was in the greenhouse. So the other two more start wandering around. They go into his office and they find stuff. And they're coming out and they meet a couple of the Black Hand thugs, who is security.
Yeah.
And then, okay, fine, maybe we can do something with this. Have a nice encounter. And then one of my players, it wasn't Jason or Gage, comes out of the greenhouse with the judge on his knees, pointing a shotgun at him. And then, because somebody called the cops show up. And I said, okay, this is that. He said, I'm gonna blow his head off if you guys don't back off. And they're like, yeah, right. And the cops are coming in, and it's like, let's take a break. And when they came back, I narrated the outcome. I felt so, I didn't know what to do with it. Basically, it's like, it's too early for a TPK. And that's probably what was going to happen.
You killed the mayor, it's a wrap. Or the judge, it's a
No,
wrap.
yeah, that was the judge, the crooked judge. But yeah, the same thing, the same damn thing. And there were a couple of reporters there too. So but we came back, and what they found in his office was a trap door into a basement where somebody was setting up a still, because the Black Hand is using his as trying to make booze, and they find his books. They find their books.
Okay.
Schedules of booze coming in and all this stuff. So we ended up at the end, we're back at the barn.
Right.
The whole corruption thing with the judge and the candidate happened sort of off screen, because they were more interested in busting the guys for bringing the liquor in. So we had a nice little, that kind of thing. The second group started out the same way, and they found out about Moxie's, racket on how to get $100 by voting 10 times.
Right.
And they broke the code of what he was saying to them to do this. So each of the players decided to go and make $10 voting. And it's like, wow, this is really easy. We got to bust these guys. And it ended up at the candidates' headquarters with a shootout. And the judge got busted. This guy got busted. And the fallout was basically they canceled the election. They said it's null and void because they don't know how much he's been put. And they said in 6 months. So McMasters is still in there. But I said in another 6 months, we're going to have another election.
There's been a McMasters running Rock Junction since it's an exception.
Yeah. And they got the hanging judge to sign a writ for the other judge, which because he hated him real bad. He basically said that's what did he say? He said, I hate that slimy son of a bitch, or something like that. And so the judge got busted. The candidate got busted. His second got busted. The union boss got busted. So I don't know which group was more effective, but it was very interesting to see how the same game turned out with two different groups. Similar, but not, it was a good time. It was a good time had by all. And they absolutely loved it.
Hang on. I want to answer this question by TXG.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They had it was in a Dragon magazine where they showed you how you could get your stats based on like how many times have you been in a newspaper for your charisma, where you Do you have this certain degrees? Could you do so much push-ups and sit-ups? It had a way you could go through and calculate what your stats are about based on your actions, what you actually did. It was like in the mid 80s. I can't remember the number, but it was in an old Dragon magazine. So if you're interested, it did have it.
They used to do that with villains and vigilantes.
That was for weight and things like that. So you can figure out how many hit points you bought. That's why I had my famous character, Fat Man and Blobbin, because you got more hit points if you were bigger.
True. Yeah, that was a wild game. I'm probably going to rerun it in Battle Creek next year.
No, I can't remember the issue. I'd have to think about it because it's been. I know they did it, and it's back in the mid '80s though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we're
that's only like 40 years ago, so I'm glad.
It was like one of the real early issues too.
I can say, yeah,
it's like I think no more than issue from 1 to 20 somewhere in there.
No, I think it's like 90, around 90.
90?
Around late 87, 88, 90. I mean, issue number around there, somewhere around there.
Okay, gotcha. I thought it was earlier. I thought something.
No, it wasn't early. It was earlier on.
Anyway,
could be. That's why I remember just around that time.
Well, that's good.
Well, good luck.
Next year, Gage's girlfriend's going to come, and I hope to get her in a Gangbusters game.
All right.
Yeah, he kept calling me every night saying how much fun he was having. I said, "Oh, really?" He comes into the rooms, always said, "These games suck." Except for yours, Grandpa. I think there was one game he really liked. He said the rest of mine and some other guys, and the rest of them sucked. And he had like 5 games.
No,
it's like, okay, he's 21. All right, fine. He'll get over it. But he's always in my Gangbusters game. I can't get away from him. I mean, I can't, not have him in there.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the Gangbuster book, it went from 64 pages to like 184 or something like that, almost 200.
Yeah.
It tripled in size.
I was hoping Don would
send and skit, all kind of stuff.
I was hoping Don would send me a the latest one with the corrections in it.
No, he's got it done. It's just he hasn't just sent them out yet.
Yeah.
All I do them today or tomorrow. He said.
Okay. All I ask is could you spell my name right? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all. Everything else is beautiful. We're fine.
Yeah. Just get that part right.
Yeah. So I remember talking to you. Not talking to you, but I mean your last live stream you did with Don.
Yeah.
It was on the phone, on Facebook, talking about
the other day. Yeah.
The BX thing, because I looked through the book and I can see you made a few concessions, like ascending armor class and that kind of thing. But I had exception to using just the pluses on a stat instead of using the stat itself, because everything was over now. But what's nice is I can actually run it the old way if I want to. That's what I love about BX. You don't like it, you don't like the new stuff, well, just use the old stuff. It's fine.
It fits just in. Some of the optional stuff, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 77. I knew it was sometime early. I just
yeah.
After so many years, that stuff all blends together. I'm lucky I remembered. I'm lucky I remembered it.
Yeah, you remembered the TV or newspaper appearances.
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
I don't.
I'm just saying he remembered this stuff.
But I'm starting to get a little, I don't want to say possessive about this game, but I feel like I'm becoming the not the gatekeeper, but the guy looking over, making sure, because I don't want it to go too far away from BX.
Well, neither do I. But I had to have some. There's a fine line between 100% that and then making it so it's slightly usable and enjoyable for some of the newer guys. So I kind of had to bridge the gap, but it's still, you can still play every single BX. Will still slot right into play. What as is.
That's good. That's really good, especially for old farts like Eric and I.
Like me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, sorry, Eric.
What?
Well, just like I added mystics, you know,
You did.
and people say, "Oh, it's mystic." I'm like, no, that was relevant through this time period. It was actually a really big thing.
It was.
Mysticism was huge during this era,
Oh yes.
and it wasn't
Oh yeah.
always magic. You could play it how you want. It could be real magic, or it can just be, Shandu musician, I hypnotize you and make you think
Yeah.
I'm
It's
doing something.
all like mind and clouding your
Right.
mind and all that.
Yeah.
It's all mental, which
Convincing you
works.
thought you've seen something. Yeah.
Yeah, which works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of it very lot more subtle. That's what they were going for. It's a lot more subtle. And I could probably even role play a seance
Sure can.
in there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that was big. That was big going on during that time. King Tut, all those eras. That
Oh
was
yeah,
huge.
I was gonna say when you put out the supernatural book,
Yeah.
you got Tutankhamun right there. You could bring some mummies out
Yeah, it was right
and
there.
that kind of thing.
Well, you got to remember, Dracula movie came out in 1931.
31. So did Frankenstein. So
And that
yeah,
was right there, middle of Prohibition.
yep,
Still had 2 more years to go. So
that's
yeah,
right. That's right.
all.
That's right. It's they needed a drink. They needed a good drink back then.
Right.
So how are you, How are you, Eric?
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I just, like I said, it was a busy weekend,
Uh-huh.
jam packed. Today, distracted by the weather and current events.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally forgot that we had this live stream until Glenn, the responsible one. I'm ready. I'm like, you're ready for? I went, holy,
Yeah.
my god damn!
I got to do that to him every once in a while. Change up the time and just to keep him on his toes.
No, you know, again, it worked out fine. Friday was Rachel's birthday. I'm not gonna tell you how old she is.
Happy birthday, Rach.
But
Happy birthday.
yeah. So we took Rach out for hibachi along with our niece, who was graduating from middle school or junior high school, whatever you call it.
Yeah,
So,
I understand that. Hey, you got a game now, don't you? Yeah, I saw some face for online game or something. Was it you?
Yeah.
Or maybe one of your
AD&D 1E with Don. We were supposed to play yesterday, but there was technical issues. Then we were going to reschedule for tonight, but Tom could not make it. So we're doing it tomorrow night because, again, Don also forgot. We're not responsible in our old age, okay? That's all I can say.
By the way, when you do random characters, should I be like in chat on call in case Tom still can't stay on the program?
Oh yeah, we need the backup PC.
Yeah, something like that. Tom's last 2 times he was on, Tom kept dropping out and coming back and dropping out and coming back. It was terrible. So, Mark, you've been writing like crazy.
I've been finishing up the various copies of the various manuscripts I got. Yeah.
How many you got?
I got 6 books in the works in various stages of being done.
Oh boy.
Well, I started on this about 4 years ago. So when I started working on stuff when I first did the original book, I've been working on stuff I wanted to do. So I've been going back and add stuff and change things and updating it. And so right now, I'd like to say we got the core book, Welcome to Rock Junction, which is the setting book, the police precinct book that's out. It's already been turned in.
Mm-hmm.
I got a book coming that's going to be on like custom items and how to make different things like shotgun +1, how to use those type stuff like that into the games and stuff without making it magical. I explain how to do all that, and with the mystic and the educated character, how they can also create things.
Gotcha.
Got to be in there. I got the one on I'm going to redo. right in the middle of redoing Joe's Diner.
Okay.
So it's probably going to go from that little booklet to probably a 48 to a 96 page mini campaign.
I thought you'd incorporate that into the Rock Junction book.
No, it's so special, that area, because it's got everything. It's its own campaign world by itself, pretty much.
Okay. The two I'm waiting for. The one is the core book and Rock Junction.
Yep.
Now you added a third, Joe's Diner. And those are the ones I'm waiting for, because I'm still using the little books.
Right.
And
You're gonna want the precinct book too.
I'd like to see stuff, a few things expanded that I didn't do for my campaign. I mean, I just want to see where your head is at and how this is gonna.
Which one you're talking about? Because I might have it in work somewhere. Just not. I don't consider it close enough to be complete to mention it.
Right. I mean, I'm getting by with it. I'm not saying it's it's bad. I'm getting by with the stuff, but it'd be nice if you had a little more. It's like when they fleshed out their Forgotten Realms, that kind of thing. And
that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going out and adding more stuff. Okay, I can put more stuff to this.
Plot hooks galore.
Well, you see how much I put in the little book. I'm gonna wait till I put in the other one. I got the Rock Junction book. Probably got over 100, 150 little plot hooks in it.
Wow.
There's all kind of settings and locations and.
I've used it since I got it off a drive-through, and like my very, very, very first Gangbusters game I ran at the con was the land deal.
Okay,
and I expanded on that. I couldn't wait to kill that guy.
Everyone hates it.
No, that was the, and it's like they always say. I had people go, "That's way too gruesome the way you killed him." Because they had the woman sign on the plot saying, buy this land and stuff. They went in there at night and found him impaled on it.
Oh, jeez.
Then they found another guy in the river, and there was a barrel of booze that was floating in the river, and they found another guy in there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I got pretty bloody on that first one.
Yeah, the land deal's it's a good long. You can put that in the background of a long couple of adventures.
Yeah, because what I did was I took, he had a Ponzi scheme going.
Yeah,
but I figured for a lawyer he wasn't very bright. Otherwise, you figure out how the plot of land he was trying to sell was leased by the Black Hand. Which you didn't know.
Figure that out, you think?
Yeah, and so it's like, oh yeah, then I had him killed, and that pretty much propelled it right there.
Well, then you got you got the cop on the beat. He's got different things, rumors and things like that. You can run off of that.
Oh
then you got a couple. Then you got the waitresses. They all got issues you can work on.
Yeah, I make lead tables.
Yeah,
I come up with 20 citizens of Rock Junction, what they are, where they are, and it's like, okay, everybody has to have a lead. Roll a d4. 1 to 2, you got one lead. 3 and 4, you got 2 leads. And I said, now I always say I have a list that you can roll on, but it would be nice if you can come up with something on your own. I always encourage the players to come up with stuff like that on their own. But there's people who go, yeah, I'll just roll on the list. Okay. But I got it right there for them. And that way, to me, that gets them more hooked into the game.
Right.
If they're doing it themselves.
Well, you got Roja and his little jewelry heist. You can always pull him off. Then you got his bike. You can clean in his bike, have his bike get stolen, his Indian. Have that. You got the dice game you can play. Like I said, that's the place you can just put the background and just run various things. I got a pool hall I'm going to do also to put out.
Ooh, that should be one, because I've already got a pool. I've always got also got a pool hustler who happens to be a contact, who's a midget.
Okay.
I'm sorry, little person.
Okay. So it's a lot of different stuff. Well, then you got Vickers Racetrack. You can always go there.
Hi, Mr. Gunn. Yeah, you're right. We can always go there.
Yeah.
We lost Eric. Oh
I'm
well.
right back. Just gotta-
Okay, you go ahead. We're having
Right.
a lot of fun here.
But yeah, you got Rickard's racetrack. You got the train that comes in with the.
Oh, I've used the train before.
A
That
lot of
that
people
was,
use the train. Yeah.
yeah. I had a couple of guys hiding out in one of the box cars one time because they were afraid they were going to get killed by the mob.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much information in that little booklet. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I just stacked it,
I need that
you know,
shower.
high, as far as I could.
It's
I probably
very
got at least, I think,
it's
300
very
readers.
easy to this kind of I've been doing this since 81, okay? I've been gaming since 81. But it wasn't until like Gangbusters and Rock Junction where I actually understood how to use plot hooks.
Okay.
Because I'll just take one thing out of yours and go, well, what if this happened to that? And then all of a sudden things start falling into place.
Right.
This last one was kind of hard because it started out as a newspaper adventure. I said I wanted a lot of newspaper people, but it kind of, when I started writing it, it kind of made a left turn somewhere into the corrupt political thing.
Yeah, I got Stop the Presses, which is my newspaper book I'm working on. It's about 80%. That's not close enough. It's going to have more politics in there too. So it's going to be press and politics covered more in that book.
I mean, I don't want to get heavy, and I hate politics. I don't want to get heavy into
No,
politics.
it's just going
But
to be
every
just
once in a
enough
while, they were very
it's like who's in charge of the wards. Basically, it's run for DA, run for the ward,
right.
because McMaster's is going to win the election for mayor. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah. And, they're just, you're right. Every once in a while, I like to play around with that.
Yeah.
Just because they were very creative back then in the way they did their politics and voting. Very creative.
What did he say? I wouldn't need to vote
Yeah.
once and vote off or whatever.
Yeah,
Something like that.
vote often.
Yeah.
Now I got the hobo jungle I can use.
Yeah, the hobo jungle's there.
And I remember they were in a chase. Well, I forget which group they were in a car chase, and they said they passed by the cemetery and see these guys with flashlights out there. So, what are they doing? So they're taking the cemetery vote. Got like 3 or 4 guys out there with pads.
Yeah.
and flashlights.
Yeah.
That's the kind of little things that I like to throw in there.
Yeah. Then they got the silver palm. That's
the more the supernatural stuff.
but
but
that's for the mystics, things like that.
Mystics,
That vote early, vote often. That's it right there. Yeah.
Early, vote early, vote often.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
stole
like
that.
all kind of stuff.
I stole that part from a movie, but I'm always stealing from movies. With this game, I'm always stealing from movies.
Yeah, it's so much stuff you can just use and borrow from, and that's why I put some quotes and all that, because I want you to be I got you the 4 core framework, then all these add-ons and supplements, so you can tune it how you want to, because it's BX, everything, even additional damage is optional, right there in the book. Everything is a D6 damage unless you use these options. How it works.
That's the way it used to be anyway. Yeah. Gangbusters needs resurrection. It's coming.
It's coming. Just wait. That's probably going to be out around October. Wait.
Dude, you gotta pace yourself. You can't have everything coming out at once. You gotta.
Now it's October.
Yeah, that's the
I was hoping it'd be. Oh, I thought you were talking about the core book.
No, core book's coming out whenever he releases it. He's got everything up to him. I don't know exact dates on that.
The core book is. I'd be happy
soon.
I'd be happy with the print of the core book. I'd be fine.
Yeah, he's got the core book. He's got.
All right, I'll have to. I'll have to talk to him.
3 to 4 books done, turned in.
Mm-hmm.
Put it that way.
Yeah. And all you people who spent your money, don't worry, you're going to get it.
It's coming.
Yeah. So you got 6 books going, and this is probably what 5 years worth of supplements and such,
Yeah,
plus
I've been
the
working on. Yeah,
small adventures he's doing,
Right.
that kind of thing, and it's incredible. But
plus
thank you.
I'm doing some maps, 11 by 17 maps.
Oh yeah, you're doing maps, aren't you?
Yes, I'm doing maps also. More maps coming out.
Okay, okay, that's good. That you could always use another map.
And there's miniatures coming.
I forgot about that.
And Gangbusters
Now that
miniatures.
yeah, that's not my thing, but I can see it'd be a good thing to have.
Yeah, it'd be good to have
There's
one,
a
but I'm
lot of
like,
people. There's a lot of people still use miniatures. I'm not one of them,
yeah.
but
Oh, I listen. I appreciate a good miniature. Listen, I love the little 10-car mini. I did
Oh,
not paint. I did not paint it. I did not design it.
that's great.
Straight from New Zealand. But
you
it
should
is
put it up on big screen.
all right. All right. Hold on. I'll unbiggen it for a second. Oh,
Hey, that looks nothing like you.
Yeah,
he's got a
got a big
cask.
mug.
Look at
That's
that. He's
great.
got a cask,
Actually, it
and
does look like his avatar.
he's got
Yeah.
a beer stein. He's got
Did
he's
you?
got everything.
Did you? Was it? Did it come pre-painted?
Yeah, it came pre-painted because
Nice.
that was my payment for licensing my 10 cardness out.
Yes, my ID, my face, my yes. Um, I'm excited. That's all I can say is I'm excited.
Oh, and it's a GM screen coming too.
That's right. I'm very interested in seeing what that looks like.
Yeah, it's so much stuff. I know it seems like a lot, but I've been working on this for a long time.
Hey, it's Christmas when it comes out.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, I got 40 years of Game Buster notes and materials and adventures I got stacked
You
up.
know, you do not know the depths of envy out of me for having a 40-year gangbust campaign, and I'm just in awe. I didn't
Yeah,
think there was anybody out there that ran that more than maybe a couple of 3 months at the
I've been running it
most.
all the time.
Wow. When I run a campaign, I can't get it. I can't do more than like 3-4 months, and somebody else wants to run, and I'm just too nice a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When
But
I've run gangbusters, I got people lining up.
there was a couple of people on the chat saying, "Hey, you got any room for me?"
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When when is your game? When
I'm
do
gonna
you
be
run?
probably. I'm gonna probably have to step back from the game for a little bit until I get some of these books out.
Okay,
But then I'm
so
gonna pick back. I really would love to run a weekend game every other weekend, like a Saturday or Sunday, and just I could probably take as many as like 15, 20 people.
that'd be lovely, lovely.
You know,
That'd be
that way
great.
when people show up, I have room for them and different stuff. But if they
Mhm.
want to run and play, I'm willing to go for it because it can happen fast. People love to play in different factions because then sooner or later you get all the cops together, then you get all the reporters, and then we can
All the
break off into smaller groups and do different things.
Yeah, but the nice thing, see, I don't like I said, I don't like to do mixed groups. Either you're good guys or bad guys, and I do all the bad guys. So, but the nice thing is you can within that you can mix it. Like my games at the con had like a couple 3 reporters, but
Right.
we also had an FBI agent, we had a cop, we had some gal who runs her own speakeasy in town. I thought that was clever. And for some reason, Gage playing a game warden.
Why not? It's legal.
That kid, that kid will come up with, it's just like you're gonna pick the weirdest thing, right? Okay. I was tempted to leave him for the whole game in the forest, but I did. But so we had a lot of these, like that gal who played she said she had her own speakeasy. She got information about the wine that was poisoned through her contact who delivers the booze to her from the Black Hand. The guy she calls up to get her stuff delivered. And he gave her a really nice, that was fun. That was fun. I had a really nice encounter with that. And she played along. I've never seen this. Okay. My prejudice shows here, but I have never really played a role-playing game that consistently, I'm not going to say no role-playing ever encourage role-playing in encounters, but this is the one who people consistently do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, usually you have people who like to do it all, or you got, okay, let's get to the fight. And this one is like, yeah, I'm going to talk to this guy. I'm going to talk to that guy. We're going to go see this other guy. And I love it. I've never had that kind of mix before. It just really encourages them to role play. And I'm all for that. I mean, I don't mind an encounter. I don't mind a fight and stuff like that, but you got to have a mix. And
that would be fatal.
That's true. I've also discovered that one of the games had a car chase, and I discovered if I don't play it carefully, the car chase ends really abruptly.
Yes.
After about 2 turns, somebody blows a driving roll, and they run into something.
Yep.
This last time the bad guys ran into a light pole, and they were deaded. They were deaded. Yeah. I thought it was clever because that one gal was driving. He says, "I want to turn around real fast and go the other way," and blah blah. They said, "Oh, you want to do a bootleg reverse?" I said, "Yeah, okay, go ahead." And she made her rolls and she did it. They were shooting on their way by, passing them.
Great.
Those were crazy games, I tell you. But I loved it. I loved it. Oh man, 30 grand and counting? Really? Wow.
Oh wow.
Whew, man. So next, unfortunately, fortunately, Eric's going to ShireCon.
September.
But
I got a break. I got a little bit of a break, thank God. Con season's winding down.
I won't be there, so there won't be any gangbusters.
Probably not.
What?
I did
fix that. Who's going? I'll give him a gangbusters, but now. That's what I would love to do. Set people up so they can run at these various conventions. That's what my long-term goal is. Have remember I had like the RPG thing where people sign in for dungeon and you can play at different events and different stuff. I would love to have that for gangbusters.
Like an RPGA. That'd be nice.
I would love to have that.
Be nice. Oh, I may have mentioned this once or twice. We had a second Gangbusters GM there.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he ran a game set in New York in the turn of the century, revolving baseball. The Black Sox. Yeah, and they had some deaths, and basically the ball players had to figure out who got killed and what happened.
Yeah, I gave him some tips on that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I watched his game for about an hour before I had to go set mine up, and he wanted me to. I said, I'll show up. So I showed up and watched it for about an hour, and he's like, at the bar that night, he asked me how it was, what can I do? I gave him the leads thing that I do. Right. I sent him your Riot funnel.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like I gave him whatever I could, give him. And he was happy as a clam, let me tell you. And it's interesting actually it was interesting because this is the first time I got to actually sit and watch a game and see what they're doing. And he was pretty tight. I liked it. I just wish I could have stuck around. There was somebody running Gangbusters at CNY. There was? I didn't know that. Shirt
Oh,
was
great.
marked. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Gift the last five. What?
There was
Oh,
somebody
that's
running
you.
one over 2 weeks ago, I think, over in Sioux Falls, Iowa, South
Uh-huh.
Dakota. So it was running out
Okay.
there. There were about 15,000 people that was running out there.
Oh,
Somebody told me they
nice.
was running out there. I like to get more people. The more people we have running games of different stuff, the more converts. I want them one of us, one of us. And once
I'm
people,
hoping, like I said, I hope the core book comes out soon because this could really be a grassroots thing that really grows.
yeah, well,
Um,
it should.
you
So as the
know,
books get out in a while and people see it, I think it'll do well because it's
there's a lot of
familiar but different enough.
yeah, because there's a lot of frustrated Gangbusters players right now because one, the book isn't out, and two, the old book is not available anymore. So,
Right.
in fact, I printed out 3 off the PDF, and they all
Yeah.
went.
Of course.
Where can I get this? You can't. You want this? I just use that for table for reference,
Yeah, they'll go quick.
and yeah, they went really quick,
Well, I
really
told you
quick.
I had 60 copies and they were gone before the first half hour of the convention.
Wow, that's
They just been
crazy
gone.
nuts. Yeah,
So I know if I show up at a place, because as soon as they see me, they usually ask, "You got a copy with you? You got a copy with you?" I'm like, "I might.
right.
Can't sell it on the floor, but you come back to the room, I got a whole bunch of them."
What's the? I'm hoping the core book comes out soon because I'd like to see it nominated for, like, say, a Three Castles Award for you.
If
That
he
would be nice.
if he releases it, it's we got the pre. He's doing printing and binding. Last time I
Yeah,
heard,
it's got to
so
be
I
out
think it should
before
be
the end of the
soon.
year to be eligible. So I think you got time.
Yeah, I think it could be, but man, you deserve it. I'm telling you right now. Maybe, well, probably an any, but I don't really deal with any's. But you deserve the accolades and all the hard work.
I'm not
Son of,
popular enough to get any. That's a popularity contest. You got to have like 40,000 people that's really familiar with that to
you're
make that happen.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll be lucky if I sell, a couple thousand copies a year. That I've been averaging about 1,500. I consider it a good success.
I will. I have come to the conclusion that I will, whenever con I go to now, if I ever get to go to any other cons besides North Texas, I will be running Gangbusters. Period. I got to have at least one Gangbusters game
Uh,
because I want to spread the word.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I see about getting up there.
this is like, to me, this is like one of the greatest RPG resurrections I have ever seen.
Thank you.
And I believe in it. You believe in it. Don believes in it.
It's a good
And
game.
Don,
if we
I can't
yeah,
say he
and
does a
Eric
great job.
believes
He's
in it.
done everything he can. He's been working hard at it.
Yeah, if we can get the more voices out there.
Yeah,
And
that's why I want to try to do interviews to help spread the word. Just if
and
we
now
get
you do
more
it,
people pull it.
and
A
now
lot of
you're
people
doing
still
that.
learning that it's coming out.
What's that?
A lot of people still think it's old TSR. Don't even know it's come out or changed or anything.
Yeah,
That's the thing. If I
I
can
hear
get
that.
if I can get 1/10 of what TSR sold and had, I consider it a success.
Yes, and you've got the live stream with Don now,
Yes, we do that all the
so
time. Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other. Maybe, like, keep plugging it on Facebook or something. I don't know.
I do. I plug it everywhere I can and let people know.
Eric's better than me on that kind of stuff,
I do what I can. That's
and
what
you
I
do a lot.
Says, okay.
Do a lot.
What's
that?
I'm gonna read this real quick. He goes, "What is it that you love about Gangbusters? I've never played it before. If you had to pitch it to someone with interest, what's the pitch?"
Good question.
Well, I would go, "You like gangster movies? Have you ever seen Al Capone or Untouchables,
Scarface.
Scarface, or anything like that?" Well, we take And we adventure in the 1920s and 30s during Prohibition America. We take a familiar game that you know, and we just teach you how to do it in a new way. If you play D&D, then you understand the basics. All we're doing is changing from out the dungeons and to the depths of the poverty in the city streets. So we take our fictional city of Rock Junction, which is by and large Gary, Indiana. It's right next to the major city, Chicago, which is basically Lakefront City in the game terms. So basically, you're playing the Untouchables, except for as a role-playing game. You're playing Dirty Harry. You're playing Kojak. All those different things that you can emulate. So it's doing really well. So it's like basically, if you like Gladiator, that's a different movie. But
and if you're an OSR old school guy, OSR guy, you're already ahead of the game because it's BX.
Well, believe it or not, Gladiator, they did have motorcycle chariot races during that time.
Really?
A lot of people don't know that. They
During
had chariot
Gangbusters?
races they ran. Yeah, with motorcycle chariots.
I believe it. Probably had a guy in a sidecar with a lance,
Yeah.
something like
They
that.
ran motorcycle chariot race with the little plumes on the head and everything. They'd race around the dirt track.
And I'll tell you that Facebook group we got for Gangbusters is really going well. Get a lot of ideas, and I like the guy who puts all the old cars in there.
Yeah, all the cars always help.
Those are so cool. You ought to go over to Gangbusters RPG Facebook group and look at some of the old time cars they put in there. They're gorgeous.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you're interested about what kind of pitch and all things like that, go join the group, and we can bring up ideas, and we can get input from various people on how they play.
Always.
They'll tell you how to play it and how to pitch it. This is like, you need another dungeon, or do you want to try something different? You don't have to learn any new rules. You can use your 3d6 stats, the d20 to hit, and all those things. So there's no quote unquote, I don't want to learn a new set of rules. Great, you don't have to.
And you can treat it like a dungeon. Just divvy up sections of the city or wherever they're going to go.
I have hex crawl rules coming out.
Mine, if it bleeds, it leads, is basically turned into a hex crawl because you just put you lay the problem out at the beginning, and then you go, okay, how are you guys going to handle this?
You can do guys and dolls easy.
Mm-hmm. So, and I just let the players, investigate it the way they're going to investigate it.
Right.
I got all the leads and I got all the info. They just got to pry it out of. They just got to have my NPCs talk to them.
Right. And there's various different character classes now that give you the option to do so.
Yeah.
Lots of different trickeries you can pull off.
Whether you're
good guys, bad guys, reporters, wherever. Whether you're not from the nosy neighbor to, Columbo, it's there.
Yeah. And you can advance this. I know you're doing the 80s supplement, but you can advance this game into the 30s, the 40s if you want to do film noir.
It's 20s and 30s already, but yeah, you could. Yeah.
Yeah. See, what I like about 30s and 40s is all the basis is already there from the 20s. Sure they just sort of like added on to it. So you still got the mob. You just don't have the prohibition. Got the mob doing all their things and other people like that. There's no shortage of skeevy characters.
Yeah, right. You can always go to film noir route and just go crazy with it. It's built into it already. It's built right in. You can even go cloak vigilantes. It's built right in already.
Yeah, you can do the shadow or the spider or something like that. Even early Batman.
All those different craziness.
Don't come high hat with me.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, Boardwalk Empire. There you go.
That's the whole campaign right there.
Because you can put this anywhere. You don't have to put it in those two cities. That guy who ran at the con, he put it in New York City. So, don't be tied to stuff like that.
Right. And the Rock Junction book tells you how to build neighborhoods and things like that. Got stats for that's in there. So how to lay out your own stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a Hong Kong book coming. The adventure will be set in Hong Kong. The whole, like a new, all new area.
That's a good for a Chinatown type,
Yes,
little China type
the
thing.
little China. Right? But you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be set in Hong Kong over by there under British rule. Because during like 1925, 26 like that, they had a boycott and they stopped doing stuff like snuff and things like that. So of course, smuggling took off, and that's
Right.
where you guys come into.
Smuggling, not just booze, but anything.
Anything they smuggled
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what do you
There's all
say,
kind of
Eric?
ratchets. Yeah.
So what do you say, Eric? You going to run it sometime when you get the book?
At some point, yeah.
I'd like to see that. I would really like to see you run it sometime.
We can run a detective bureau.
Yeah. Blue Book Detective Bureau. There's
Blue Book
another one in the town. I think it's the Brown Agency or something.
That's one
I'm
of them.
surprised. I think I even put well, I know I put an FBI office in town. They always have an FBI office. But I was thinking of putting in like a Pinkerton's.
Yeah, you can put that over by the 5th precinct. That would fit in great there. They'd love to see you there. Jeez.
Yeah. I could put the Blue Book on one side and the Pinkertons on the other, and well,
Right
we could have a
across from
whole
the
lot of
precinct.
fun.
Yeah, right across from the precinct. That'd be real fun going
Oh, yeah.
down there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the first Gangbusters game I ran where I really actually showed the corruption in the police department.
Oh, this is crazy.
I mean, I did a little bit in a couple other adventures, but this is like, okay, we're going to have these cops on the take, and these cops are honest, and all the PC cops were honest. So,
Yeah.
and I didn't tell them that. I said, I mean, you're going out and they're buying your vote. You're doing that. That doesn't seem very legal. And what I like about it is it's a time limit, because I start the game at noon when the the voting's already started, and the guy comes in, everybody's at lunch. That happens. They have until midnight to solve it, because the polls close at 10, but at midnight the election's over, because they got to have a couple hours to count the votes and do all that kind of stuff. And I thought, perfect. Because for a while it's like, well, when do I do this? A week before or whatever? No, do it on the day of. You got to put a time limit in there. Keep the players moving along. Anyway, that's my theory. I'm sticking.
Hong Kong is going to be huge. The
Mayor's
mayor
on no, the mayor's
McMaster's family is not on the take. They're the most legitimate people in town.
Mm-hmm.
The McMasters have been.
They're old money.
Up the town. They're old money. They helped set up the town. They're still in power in the 80s source book. That's how well funded these guys are.
Yeah.
They're established. They're part of the community. They're the pillars that hold up Rock Junction.
Yeah, the mayor and the sheriff is also straight arrow.
Yeah.
Straight as you get. Hungarian guy who.
Oh, the sheriff? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I play him like Bela Lugosi since he's Hungarian.
That works.
Yeah, why not? Anyway,
Yeah.
Ask old Musk about vote buying.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Anyway, you got anything to add, Mr. Eric?
Excuse me.
Yeah, the masters are still clean. They're just, it's amazing how clean these guys are. They got old money. They like to keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually.
That's how they keep it. I mean, there's enough corruption in the town. You don't need everybody to be corrupt.
No.
And I had a couple of people who wanted to play an FBI as corrupt. I said, you don't do that. No, not the FBI. Not the FBI.
Well, I mean, back in the late 50s, early 60s, the number 2 in the FBI was on the take by the Soviets, but it's a different type of corruption.
But we're talking about
as they got,
we're talking Hoover's boys here.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember sticking from the original Gangbusters is how to play an FBI agent. The first thing it says, don't even think about being corrupt.
Yep, they knew everything about you. Everything.
They know they know who you are, who your wife is, who your grandfather is. They follow through, and it's not even the computer age, you know, but they had lists on everybody.
Well, you knew why he had lists, right? He said everyone's got a secret because I got a secret.
That's
because
right.
he had a secret, you know.
That's right.
So he knew he got a secret, everyone else got one. And that's what he did. He kept finding out everybody.
Right. Old money's just criminals in nicer clothes. Oh, you're talking about robber barons. Okay.
We're talking about the McMasters. The McMasters are criminals. Come on, people. I didn't write them to be criminals. I wrote them to be upstanding citizens.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they want to be, if you want to play them like robber barons, just think of the Kennedys.
Yeah.
You know, old Joe Kennedy, they called him Bootlegger Joe.
Yeah.
That's how he made his money.
Yeah.
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 A lot of people made their money during this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
An honest man.
Well, put it this way. During this time at the White House, they had a bootlegger. Forget his last name was Green. I forget his real first name. He had an office to sell bootleg to Congress. In Congress.
I believe that. I believe that.
He literally had an office in the congressional building where he sold bootleg to Congress. Yeah.
Oh,
it's incredible.
I think we passed the hour.
We
wow.
passed the hour, dude.
Oh, wow. We're doing good.
we have passed the witching hour. Well, Mark's a good guest, man.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
Well, I hope that helped. I hope that helped everybody. That's the progress report from Gangbusters.
Yeah. I get to talking Gangbusters. I can go all night, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if that's okay, that's okay. I mean, you know, we could have got more info if Don was here, but you're good.
Yeah. Well, I can just tell you, there's books coming. There's stuff. There's T-shirts. We want to do T-shirts eventually. We want to do like these little cards here, Gangbuster cards with NPCs on them.
Yeah, that's for the original Gangbusters. Yeah.
Right. Those are for the original, but I want to do set for that.
Very cool.
Who is that? And he disappears into the shadows. It's the shadow. Who knows what evil starts?
Well, on that note, oh my God, hilarious. PSC, you're very welcome. I try to stream the lives on Rumble. All the regular videos don't necessarily get up on Rumble. At some point, I'll have a smoother process, but I like Rumble. It has the potential. It just has to kick itself once in a while and getting something to hear. But
all right.
Thank you for, by the way, putting up with my inability to remember what day we were actually doing this.
That's.
Thank you to Glenn for snacking me.
Hey, it's I want to say my pleasure, but hey, I try and help.
I know.
It's not exactly.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience got any good questions they want to bring up before we get ready?
Yeah. Any more questions about
Bueller?
Yes, Bueller.
I should get it right.
I mean, Mr. Mark is here, ready for your questions. Well, we had a couple of good ones. I think. Do you think we actually sold that game to the guy?
I don't know.
I hope so. A little fun.
Well, when I get my physical copy, I will make sure I do a review. I got a bunch of stuff that I got to get reviews done with. So there will be reviews coming on this channel this summer. Conventions are done for the next 2 months, which frees up time. So I will get that stuff done, and I will try to get more stuff on Rumble. By the way, Rumblers, live stream next Sunday, Rumble exclusive, inappropriate characters re-rolled, not on this channel. So it's on the inappropriate characters re-rolled channel. Just saying.
Is that a YouTube channel or
no? That's only on Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's the only place it'll be there.
Chad says when will the horror supplement be out roughly?
Around October.
Good time.
Good timing. October 31st. Well, released a week before, so people can play it. But
Great
yes.
time.
Yep, that's
That'd be-
about around the first of the month. 1st October is my goal to have it out around the 1st. That way, you got 30
There
days
you
to
go.
get a chance to read it, find some people, and be ready.
There you
For all
go.
the Halloween shows, all the Halloween games. Yeah.
All right, folks. Next scheduled live stream will be Wednesday night. Glenn and I, though, are going to try to squeeze in an afternoon live. We may have a special guest, we may not. So pay attention on your notifications. I'll put it up when I know it. Other than that, thanks again to Mark. Thanks again
Thanks,
to
guys.
Glenn.
Hang on, wait. I want to add one last thing.
What's
For
that?
people that still hung around, Mark Akers, one of the original TSR Gangbusters creators, is going to be working and making items for us.
Nice.
And he does the intro to the book. Also.
Yes, he does. He did the forward. Yeah,
That's really spot on.
Yeah, I
wanted
love
to
the
let you guys
connection.
know that before you guys took off. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're keeping the connections of the past like in the loop.
So
That's really nice.
I'm trying my best.
Okay.
be
All right,
safe,
that's
be
it.
well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. Back again tomorrow with a random video. Live stream on Wednesday night. Live stream Thursday night, Friday night. We're back to our regular routine.
Yeah. Daytime live streams sometime this week. I
Right.
guess.
Won't be Friday. That's all I can guarantee you.
I'm gonna have to talk to our special guest and find out
See if we can,
what's good for him.
We can pull it off. We can pull it up. We can pull it
Yeah,
off.
we pull off the heist. We can pull off the heist.
All right, folks. Good night, and thank
All
you
right.
so much.